Well, hello everyone. Hello everybody. Ooh, we're on the slow track, so I hope I do not freeze. I forgot to switch it. Dang. What can you do? Anyway, hi everybody. It is I, the Oracle of Whimsy, here on this beautiful Sunday. As you can see, I've rearranged my apartment. And I hope everyone likes it. So before we get started, for people who haven't had a chance to do so yet, be sure and share, like, and subscribe. And click the bell notification so that you can be notified about all future videos here on the Oracle of Whimsy. And before we get started, as is our way, we want to say hello to everybody who was kind enough to join us. We'll start with the people who got here first, starting with the amazing greeter TK, Teresa Cole. Hello, and thank you for being our moderator. Douglas is in the house, as is Pierre Walker. Thank you very much for being moderators. Lisa Prokel, good afternoon to you. Bright Opal Tarot, we've got to check that out. Sounds like it's an interesting channel. Exilda Smith, hello, welcome. Philoren is in the house baking she's making her spring chicken soup. As we can see, Mila is out making mischief. Marcia host Etler is in the house. They're having rain in Missouri, but it's 50s, no snow, yay. Okay, so I'm going to keep saying hi to everybody as we go along. So how is everybody doing? How's everybody holding out? Everybody doing good? Yeah. Had a nice weekend so far? Yeah. We've had some nice spring days. Now, I think that one of the reasons, thank you, Holly, that people might, now sorry about the cough. I did take my medicine about 20 minutes ago. Now it's daylight savings time. Is that correct? Oh dear, Sue, she's waiting for money for to pay the utilities. Excuse me. Oh, this thing makes me cough. I love this red, but I think it's got a bunch of my cat's hairs on it because every time don't you think that red is my color? I mean, I really think I look great. Red and green, I think. Daylight savings. So we're probably going to be a little quieter than we usually are. We've got about 331 people here, so a lot less than usual. And I think it's just that a lot of people are used to coming on an hour later. So they're going to sign up they're going to join us an hour later, maybe for the after hours show, I would think. All right, so let's talk. There she is. Let's talk about hot topics and let's talk about, oh, thank you, Annika. I look beautiful. You're so kind. So listen, everybody, I paid my taxes. It is done. So maybe that's why you're feeling the light, loving energy. Oh, you're very kind, Patricia. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to save the receipts from all the donations. By the way, we raised $7,200 for charity this year through the commercials. That was how much I was able to donate of the money from the channel. But I only was able to declare $300 because I didn't save all the receipts. So now that I know that, I'm going to go back. And what you do is you sign in so that they have your account for like ACLU, Poverty Law Center, so that we have an account so that they can give us our 501 receipts so that we can continue to donate those types of, when you're raising large amounts of money. So we raised $7,200 from the commercials and we raised $7,500 from the anti-hunger drive we did through Feed America. So thank you. Thought I would tell everybody that since the taxes, everything is done. All right. Everybody ready for us to start some remote viewings? Yeah, are we ready to go, or do we need to talk about something else? Any other announcements or anything that people need to make? This is a salon, so it's open. It's not like other channels. We just talk and everybody is equal. Everybody has an equal voice. Hi, Pierre Walker. Good to see you here. Hi, Christopher. So we're ready? Okay, so one of the first things I wanted to talk about is completely unrelated to any of the hot topics that are going on right now. And this is just a little bit of feedback for people that are interested. Maybe I am going to have to take this thing off. What do you think? Have you noticed I cough every time I wear this thing? I like it though. I've washed it, but it doesn't seem to get rid of. Anyway, so sometimes when you do HCRV, you can't really decide where you're going to go. Would everybody agree about that? Like when you're a remote viewer and you're scanning a grid, say I get asked by the group. The group says, hey, Whimsy, could you do us a favor? We would like you to go down and use the HCRV method. The target is Jeff Bezos because there's some stuff going on with Jeff Bezos, and he's decided to step down from Amazon, and there are going to be economic consequences for the workers, etc. So do you mind, Whimsy? Could you go down? Could you take a look at Jeff Bezos? I'm using Bezos as an example. So you're an empath, so you use a technique where you put yourself in the shoes of the other person, Jeff Bezos, and you open your heart so much. This happens between lovers. They become one, right? You become one. It's a tantra technique. It's a bond technique to do this, what I'm doing. So when you have that kind of energetic intimacy with another person, you can get all kinds of information. Right? This is why a lot of people don't like doing HCRV because of the intimate aspects of it. Now, there's a part of you that's going to be standing back and just observing what you're doing. You're observing these emotions, right? You're observing these feelings, and you're observing what your gut is telling you, right? The gut corresponds to the third chakra or the solar plexus. The core star is a point that's two thumbs above the navel, and that's considered the entrance point or where the astral body resides. So it's an important point in Chinese medicine, and it's an important point for people who are practitioners of astral travel, remote viewers, because we will often try to get back to the center, back to the solar plexus area, and get information from the solar plexus when we have a target that we're focusing on. So when I go into Jeff Bezos's energy, he may not want to talk about business at Amazon, right? So an example of that, where you just have to deliver the remote, even if it's not at all what you originally went down to find out about, right? So in the case of Jeff Bezos, 6 weeks ago, I think it was, we documented it. We went in and we had an HCRV experience with the target being Jeff Bezos. But Jeff Bezos didn't want to talk about business, right? Can everybody remember what Jeff Bezos wanted to talk about 5-6 weeks ago? Hi, Twig. Hi, Andy. Thanks for coming. Good to see you here. Can anybody remember what Jeff Bezos was talking about when we delivered a remote viewing on him 5-6 weeks ago? I want to talk about his wife. What did he say in the remote when Jeff, when we entered into the intimate space? What was he saying? He wanted his ex-wife back, right? So what did we hear in the remote? Losing Mackenzie was the biggest mistake of my life. How do I get my wife back? How do I get my wife back? It's a strange remote. It had nothing to do with what was going on publicly. There was no news about any of this. It left, I think, a lot of the audience, including me, shaking our wooden noggin, right? What the heck was that? But your job as an HCRV or a remote viewer is going to be, or psychic, whatever you choose to do, is to just deliver the remote, right? That's all you're being asked to do. So what happened 3-4 weeks after that remote? Mackenzie married another man, right? So what happened, I think, and that's an example of reviewing a former remote. So I think what happened is that she told him she was going to marry someone else. Obviously, their children were going to go to the wedding. And he was psychologically grappling with that. So if somebody's going through something as excruciatingly painful as seeing their spouse, the regret of destroying your marriage and then seeing your spouse give away everything you constructed together and marry another man, that's devastating. So we were not really able in that remote to get much more information than that, because it permeated everything that that individual was feeling. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, so I just want to put that out there, that this is how remote viewings work. If you're doing HCRV, you're talking a lot about the emotional state of another individual. Right. I think I want to just take a minute with what Connie's. Hi, Sheila. Good to see you. Sheila and I are going to be doing blitzes together tomorrow. I hope everyone can join us. I want to talk a second about what Connie is talking about here. Connie Brown talks about Bezos, false pride, clouded vision. Those are the kinds of things you get, trying to win his wife back by willing to do time volunteering at some of her nonprofits. When you think about it objectively, it was kind of sad, a little bit pathetic that, I think for me spiritually, the lesson for me, if I was going to share anything with this group, after having had Jeff Bezos be the target for that RV, is that, he's one of the wealthiest men in the world, but it can't buy you love, right? The one thing, he still wasn't satisfied, right? He had everything, and he still wasn't satisfied, because the one thing he wanted was his wife. And what she had said in the remote is that she wasn't coming back. And now we know why. It's because she was going to marry somebody else. So, lessons learned, lessons for us collectively as a group. And of course, you want to thank the target, because that was really intimate information that this individual chose to share with us. And the other thing I just really want to say, if you are going to do this kind of work, we all have to just be really understand there's a sacred aspect to it when we get that kind of private information. It's a gift. Yes, we can prove it because we document it. This is real. We can prove it because of these types of remotes. But more amazing than the powers of the human mind is that there's this incredible sacredness when people trust us with that type of information. And I just really hope, if you are a practitioner, that you're always mindful of that when you're doing a reading, or when you get hired to do a target like that. And you know what? I still feel bad for this target, even though I know objectively the character Jeff Bezos, the person we think of is wealthy, famous, successful. But for me as an empath abiding with this person, I have tremendous grief and sorrow because the love of his life is gone forever and she's never coming back. So that's my job as an empath may look nothing like what the news looks like or anything else. All right. Okay. Are we ready to move on to next remote? So the next remote we're talking about, the target was 45. I know everyone's tired of about 45, but the reason that he's coming up a lot is because there are so many court cases that are going on. And I'll show you a little bit of last night's map. It was a small map that I had done regarding the various different criminal investigations into Trump, the investigations that are going on into Georgia, his relationship with the Republican Party and the direction that the Republican Party is going in. A lot of people have said that Mitch McConnell's power is waning, but it didn't feel this way last night. Last night, when I did a remote, I put myself in the shoes of both Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. And it goes back to the remotes we had talked about 2.5 years ago when we followed the energy, that it would be Mitch McConnell that would cut the head off this beast. Now, Mitch McConnell is in an interesting situation because he perceives of himself as the person that's really holding the mantle of the shreds of what is, in his opinion, the true Republican Party. And I think that Mitch McConnell thinks that he is going to win. How he's going to win is that the big money, the big donors, are pulling away from Donald Trump, and they're putting their money more towards centrist candidates, candidates like Liz Cheney, who they believe have a chance to win in the coming elections, 2024, 2022 for the Congress. They want to take back Congress in 2022. And it's looking like they could pull it off. So that's all of what's going on from Mitch McConnell's perspective. So they're having fights about money. If you go back to the remotes I did on, oh, thank you, Diane, that's beautiful. If you go back to the remotes that we had done in the past, how do they get Donald Trump to leave? How do they get Donald Trump? It was about money, right? Money, money, money. I want money. I want money. I want money. So when you go into the remote as Donald Trump, when I put myself in the shoes of Donald Trump, I have said, or I have felt like I built this party. I made this party. You owe me. This party was nothing after Bush Jr. I built this party. You owe me. If you don't give me money, this is Donald Trump's perspective. Okay. So I just want people who are coming in late to understand we're doing an RV on all the investigations around Donald Trump. So I know people are bored with him, but it's relevant to some of what's going on today. And so we're going to talk about that. But Trump's perspective is that basically here's how I felt as Trump, because I need money and because you owe me. I saved you. You had all branches of government, all three, because of me. I did that. I gave you 4 years of executive, 4 years of the Senate. You better treat me right. So he's threatening that he's either going to form an independent party to destroy the Republican Party if they don't start handing over money to him through these various different super PACs, donation platforms. So you have a couple different platforms. One of the platforms that Mitch McConnell was talking about is a support the Republican Party, future runs, etc., that they're raising more money without using Donald Trump than Donald Trump's super PAC. They also reserve the right to take Donald Trump's money. Thank you, Christopher. That's very kind of you. And the reason why is because he's running under the Republican Party, which means that he's the property of the Republican Party. They funded his last campaign. And so they basically get to use his name, et cetera, as a Republican candidate to promote for themselves and to take more money for themselves. So this is the fight I'm feeling as I go into this. They're fighting about the money. So it goes back to, why is the Republican Party afraid of Donald Trump? They're afraid of Donald Trump because he has the power to splinter the party, and now they're negotiating money. How much do we have to pay you to get you not to splinter the Republican Party and to join and to stay with the Republican Party? Does everybody see this? So Trump is threatening to form an independent party, which is causing the Republicans to be in a place of fear. Trump wants a greater percentage of the donations to go directly to him. And this is causing a battle between him and Mitch McConnell, where Mitch McConnell is attempting to squeeze him out financially and also to reduce his power by not funding a lot of public speaking engagements, et cetera. All of this stuff is being created by Mitch McConnell and other elders in the Republican Party in order to slowly squeeze Trump out of the Republican Party. So if you look at the mind map, that's what you see. You have Mitch McConnell on one side, Trump on the other, and the powers that be that manipulate the money, they're going towards Mitch McConnell. And so starving the beast. It's one way to kill the beast is to starve the beast. From this perspective, from a remote viewer's, as far as a remote viewer is concerned, the Trump era is over. Many extremists are being arrested. People assumed that the Trump era would go on forever. DC was like Versailles. It was like Louis the 14th. It was decadent. Drugs, bribery existed. It had a ripple effect, and the rest of the world began to follow suit. Brazen expressions of racism became a popular rage. Racism became a popular rage. Decadence, bring on Versailles, the decadence of the aristocracy, classism, etc. Hey, go for it. Make liberals cry. Make traumatized people cry. And so this brings us to the next remote. Next remote has to do with what's going on in Britain and how Britain, like the rest of the world, is having to deal with its racism problems. Now, when you go into the energy of Britain and Britain's racism problem, particularly its racism problem that was propped up by the upper classes, it takes you back to Britain's gruesome, repulsive history of pseudoscience, eugenics, which was embraced by the aristocrats. They truly believed that they were biologically or genetically superior. They didn't know what genetics were because they hadn't discovered genes yet. They called it the cell plasma. They felt that the nutrients, the health of their cells was superior to the cells of poor people, Black people. They also felt like it was part of eugenics philosophy developed by Sir Francis Galton, knighted by Queen Victoria. They loved his ideas. He also believed that the races should not mix, that everybody should stick to their own kind. Now, 1850, 1860s, people were struggling with issues like slavery, enslaved persons, etc. So Sir Francis Galton thought that the races should not mix. And if the races mix, you are going to produce mudbloods. You're going to have deformed, defective persons. And this idea that mixing of the races would lead to defective persons is why you had forced sterilizations of mixed race persons, etc. So here we find ourselves in Britain. Here's what I got from the remote. It became a fad, what was going on in Britain. It was like a rediscovering of life in Victorian England. The new administration had placed Britain on notice. Now Britain's racism could be rediscovered, embraced again, And the problems of eugenics, which had been swept under the rug after World War II, were out and open for in full display. So it goes back to the issue of why do we keep talking about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? Because the underlining issue isn't about celebrity. The underlining issue is about how the world must confront its racist ideas and its ideas about eugenics. And it goes directly to the royal family. Going into this energy, how do I think it's going to end? I think that eugenics is propped up by the tabloids, because the tabloids have a vested interest in making sure that certain people remain politically in power. And so they feed poor and uneducated people eugenics and race baiting garbage in the tabloids, and they will mud up the waters. So at first you'll get a reaction that people are horrified by the interview by Meghan Markle. And then everyone will slowly start to see the waters get muddied, because the institution is racist by design, and the institution is propped up by racist tabloids owned by aristocrats and Tories that want to prop up institutional racism. And so they will muck things up. So the royal family really doesn't have to do anything to bury eugenics again. All they have to do is say, we are very much not a racist family. And the institution, the British institution, the people that are hired, the millions and billions of dollars that's being made to work for the tabloids, to work for the aristocracy, to keep this charade going. They want to keep the charade going because their jobs depend on it, their money depends on it, their policies depend on it. So they're going to muck things up, and you can expect for the next couple of weeks that they will go back to creating articles that convince you that Meghan Markle is a demon from hell that eats babies for breakfast, because that's their job. Their job is to make you hate her. Now, she's expecting a daughter soon. I think the old guard will pass away. I wouldn't be surprised if she named her daughter Diana. If that happens, I think we're going to see some changes over the coming years. But what this really was about, it was about power structures. It was about eugenics, and how the former American president, who created his presidency, it was inspired by a former president who was a Victorian president who under the Victorian era president who was pro-slavery. That's basically how he fashioned his administration. And so it doesn't surprise me that this stuff came out. All right, so I think we're going to close the remotes. The last thing I would say is that the January 6th, a little bit about the January 6th insurrection. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about Michael Flynn. There's a lot of, you folks have a lot of great questions, and we're going to try and get to all of them. But January 6th is going to prove that it's much higher up, as we had said in previous remotes, and also after January 6th happened, when we had done remotes, it looked like this was a choreographed effort. It looked like there were waves of people. Each had a different role. Everybody from the people that were protesting, which were the first wave that were supposed to get past the barrier, everything had been choreographed. And that requires military precision and military coordination. And I think that the investigation will bear that out. Okay, so on that note, let's open the floor to conversation, and let's talk about it. How's everybody feeling about those remotes? Hi, Sandy Miller. Hi, Janine. You know, it's so weird. I was doing remotes last night. People are talking about I kept getting an Ace of Wands, which is a phallic symbol. So I thought the gender might be male, but evidently it's a boy baby. But Princess Diana, her energy is really close to the earth right now. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for that donation. It's much appreciated. And thank you for the leap. Tootsie Bitter says she's tired of hearing about Meghan Markle. Hi. This is beyond Meghan Markle. We're not talking about Meghan Markle. We're talking about old ideas in the British establishment that need to be confronted and excised, because a lot of people are getting hurt because of racism in Britain, just like a lot of people are being hurt by racism in the United States. Also, I think it's a public relations nightmare. This is not the first American actress to become a princess. Let's be very clear about that. Right? Is this the first time an American actress has become a member of a royal family? Of course not. Princess Grace became a member of the royal family of Monaco. She didn't get treated like this. What do you think the difference was? So, it should have been and could have been something really positive, right? Great relations between Britain and the United States, an American princess. This could have, but instead it's become, because of racism, a nightmare. It's also unbelievably embarrassing to the royal family that we sent an American there. You took away her passport. It was like freaking Saudi Arabia. You made you drove her half mad with racist abuse, and she was forced to flee, her and her husband, to safety with their child. The whole world is disgusted with Britain, and it's also a relations nightmare for the United States. We didn't have to go through this when Princess Grace married somebody and moved to Monaco. It was lovely, It was great to have that kind of relationship between the two countries. So what's the problem, Britain? Why can't you get your act together? I think we all know what the answer is, and that's why we're talking about it. Because it does affect your life, and it affects my life, and it needs to be confronted, and it needs to be dealt with. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to move on to the collective. Thank you, everybody. That's why I'm going to keep talking about it because of that. We're going to do a collective reading for the group. And then after that, we're going to do some blitzes. Sound good? Okay, let's do this. Let's make it happen. Okay, let's do the Empaths Prayer. We can do it together. You can say it in your minds out loud, or you can sit this one out if you're not into prayers, but we're going to do the Empaths Prayer. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Let's go in. Let's give ourselves a reading. I'm excited. Oh, Sarah Glantz, that's going to have to get removed. I think Reader or somebody else is going to remove that. You know, it's amazing how many people claim they know that Meghan Markle is an evil witch from hell. I used to live in West Hollywood for like 10 years, 10, 12 years. And I used to work at the Earth Bar. And Meghan Markle and everybody else came in all the time, and everybody knew them, and everybody had relationships with these people, and she's always been into yoga. By the way, I love the lotus she was wearing, which is modern Buddhist symbol, right? She was wearing a lotus around her neck. From the mud we will rise, right? The lotus grows out of the mud, and yet it's beautiful. So I love the fact that she was wearing a symbol of modern Buddhism, right? Everything is connected, right? But according to the Queen, Meghan Markle is a beautiful woman. According to her husband, who knows her better than everybody, she's a beautiful woman. According to everybody I know that has worked with her, she's a beautiful woman. According to all of her friends, because I happened to walk into her engagement party in West Hollywood because all of her friends were. She's a wonderful woman. So everybody that has intimate relationship with her says she's a wonderful woman. So you got an issue, deal with your fucking issue. I'm sorry to use the bad language, but you got a problem. Work your problem out. I will not tolerate racism. I'll freaking kick you out of this channel. I swear to God. I'm sorry. I will not be nice about those things. All right. I don't tolerate that. People have been victims of racist tabloids. It's your problem to work out. Not this channel's issue. All right, where we are at right now, let's do it, puppies. Let's take a look. Base of the matter for us, still problems with COVID. You can see COVID is there. Now, be careful, everybody, if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, or if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, you can see the Knight of Swords, which is the card that I associate with wind energy, violence. It's violent energy, or what I call Wei Qi, the immune system being attacked. It's very much a card that I associate with the virus. But you can see the Ace of Cups moving in. According to Biden, we're all going to be able to get the vaccine, yay, by May. So this nightmare is coming to an end. As I had said in previous remotes also, we're bankrupted. I had done a remote on Joe Biden, and he had said, between you and me, folks, we're broke. But here's the great news. America saved themselves. We have saved ourselves. So what that means in plain English is that Uncle Joe has made it happen. Andrew Yang is making it happen. It's not a pipe dream. They're making it happen. We have and we will eradicate child poverty in this administration. 1.9 trillion. It's enough money. We saved ourselves. So where's the money going? The money is going to make sure that every child has a minimal income. Their family has access to minimal services. So again, we won't be seeing children starving to death. It would be great also if we could clean up our foster care disaster, since that's a mess. But Ace of Cups is coming in. This is the beginning of the Renaissance. We had the birth pains before. Now we have the Renaissance. Letting things go from the past. This is the time for spring cleaning for all of us. You see how beautiful my home is? I literally wiped everything down from top to bottom with a dust. And this is preparing for Passover. This is Jewish ideas that every single crumb has to be removed. We clean so carefully before the Passover. The symbolism of that is let the crap go. Now is the time to let it go. That includes diaries. I went back and I looked at some old diaries. Oh, I used to love this one. Oh, I used to love that one. I threw them away. I did. Why hold on to all those sad memory? Oh, but it's nice to look back. No, it isn't. All we have is now. And what are we going to do with now? So hanging up the past that doesn't serve us anymore, being able to move on, being able to live in the now and think about where we're going in the future, what crosses us, the Queen of Wands. That's the strong leadership card. You know how when we have talked in the past about how we all have to be about our business, and how we're all building our kingdoms together. We're all in this together. And all we have control over is what's in front of us. Like this little apartment, you know, it's my kingdom, right? I'm about my business. I'm about my business. I'm about my business. Even if my business is only a 650 square foot studio apartment in downtown Portland. This is what I am. This is what, for whatever reason, I've been called to get control over. And that is what this energy is about. You are the leader of your home, of yourself, of your life. You start with what's in front of you. We don't have to save the world. What is above us? Let's take a look. What is above us? The Queen of Swords, being able to put the past behind us. The times have changed, my fellow sensitive people. A new sheriff in town. A new sheriff in town means a new sheriff in town, new ideas, new views, new values. Again, the past is dead. Remember, the Queen of Swords is the queen of who puts the past behind her. This is not a queen whose job is to sit around and think about what could have been, should have been. Hang it up, hang it up. She's the queen that's different than the other queens in the sense that she has her back to the past. We're cutting cords now. Do we really want to spend our future pining about what could have been, should have been? What a waste. Queen of Swords moves in the fourth house. What we sit in, healing. We're very concerned about our health and welfare, this group, but specifically our heart, our heart. You can see that the third house is the Page of Cups. The third house corresponds with the fourth chakra. It's what we sit in, it's what we marinate in, and it often is what weighs on our heart. The past placement for the group, Star, we've received an anointing or blessings. Many people who were confused in the group about what they were going to do or what they were going to be, that confusion is gone. A lot of stars watching the show today, 989 of you, you're stars. This is your time. The star is over you. It's already come to you. The star has already come. Past placement, near future, things will begin to happen very, very fast. Things are happening very fast, 2,700 vaccinations a day now, right? Boom, 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 boom. 2.7 million, pardon me. Is that right? Am I right about that? So that's a lot of vaccinations. Quick, Chariot. So where we're at right now, the wheel is turning, the Chariot, and the Wheel of Fortune. What is around us? Multiple job opportunities, rocky waters. I still think the market is still a little shaky. The hope and fear that there's a feeling of claustrophobia here with this group. I can tell you a lot of us want to travel. Look, there it is again, the tower. I'm telling you something. Whether socioeconomic, but I want people to just be about your business. Do you have a generator? Do you have a first aid kit? Do you have a bucket and candles and a way of cooking food if the power goes out? If the power grid goes down, are you okay? Do you have an escape route? This can also be electrical. You can see the electrical here. Thank you, Anna. Aw, you're so sweet, Anna. So sometimes electrical explosions. I got this tower card. I was interviewed, Fox Local News, December 31st, I think it was. right after President Bush Jr. had been elected. And this was what was coming at the end of the year. We didn't know that the towers were going to go down, but we knew something really bad was coming because of that tower energy. So yeah, something's coming. It could be that there's an attack on our grid. That's very likely. Something's going to happen. Fool takes a leap of faith regarding new job opportunities, the hope and the fear, waiting for our ships to come in. It's a financial crisis. There appears to be some kind of financial crisis coming. But like I said, we got a $1.9 trillion. I think, here's what I think. I think that I trust I trust what Joe Biden said in the remote. I think that Joe Biden was warning us. I think there was a reason why I was crying about February. I think that we have more environmental disasters that are going to hit. I think that Joe Biden and the smart, wise people know the economy better than I do. They knew this was going to happen, which is why they needed to get, is it buffering? Okay, so the 1.9 trillion is to cushion the blow for a tower they know is coming. They've done the math. They know the weather is going to hit. They know the hurricanes are going to hit. They know the infrastructure is collapsing. They know that the transportation department's a disaster, that our infrastructure is a disaster, that our dams are collapsing, our water system is collapsing in Jackson and everywhere else. So it's coming. The good news is that the 1.9 trillion is going to help soak up some of the mess. And in the end, we'll be okay. It's rocky waters ahead economically for the next couple of years, but the 1.9 trillion saved us, and there's plenty of work ahead if you're looking for work in the coming weeks. I know the feds are going to be hiring everybody. There's so much. So I went forward with the remotes to May. Oh my God, there's more jobs than people. So by May, everybody has a job. Whether it's working for the federal government or some of the state is also, all the states are going to be getting money from part of the 1.9 trillion. So they're going to be hiring also. So if you are looking for work, you've got work. So yeah, I think that's just what I would say about the collective at this point. Susan, Susan, let's all move on. The topic has changed. I don't know what's going on. Thank you, Bright Opal. All right, so now we've done the community, so now we're going to go ahead and do the blitzes. Everybody ready for some blitzes? Okay, so we're going to get to the questions. Is everybody having fun? Oh my God, you guys had so many great questions. All right, so we're gonna get started on some blitzes now. Are we ready? Blitz away. Who started that expression, blitz away? Was that Sheila? Blitz, blitz, blitz away. On Donner, on Blitzen. What are the federal jobs going to be? Everything. A lot of jobs in Army Corps of Engineer, a lot of engineers being hired because we're doing a lot with infrastructure. Mayor Pete's going to be busy. New roads, new highways, engineers, water systems, everything, lawyers. The Justice Department's hiring more people. The State Department's hiring more people. Everybody's hiring. All departments are hiring. Okay, so let's blitz away. So the first question I got was, could people take a look at the January 6th was a big topic for people. And so we're going to start talking a little bit about everybody that was involved in January 6th. And we're going to do just a general on January 6th to see if we can't get some information about how the investigation into the attack is going. And if I could please try and find out who's involved, etc. I think it's a great question. Yes, it is, Amalia. It's good. We're going to have a crash, but there's so much work. It will smooth it out. But we know it's coming. The economists, etc., knew it was coming. So we have cushioned ourselves, and we have cushioned ourselves adequately. Thank you, Maxine. You're very sweet. Okay, January 6th investigation, Justice Department, Merrick, Garland, and let's do this. Blitzes, we're doing blitzes. I love my job. All right, jail. Look at the confusion here from the protesters. You've got a moon card as the karma card. I'm telling you, these guys, it was almost like mind control. It feels when you go into the energy of people that got pulled into the media and Donald Trump and all the crazy QAnon stuff. These folks, genuinely, it's like they were doing something and were hypnotized. Look at that karma card. Lunatic, right? Ball of confusion, completely confused. Where are they at right now? Jail. 9 of Wands, facing possible future criminal charges and prison. Now, you're all going to have to help me with the names because I'm a busy gal, but can y'all remind me of the name of the trans woman who's currently in jail? I'm going to start writing some names down. What was her name? Jessica Watkins? Is that her name? She's one of the people I want to throw on her future because I'm just totally into this January 6th investigation. The reason why, and I talked to Sheila. Sheila's background is criminal justice. So, I mean, and crime, etc., security. So, and she's done remote view. I really want to talk to her tomorrow about this because she's a remote viewer. But I think this goes very deep. I think this really goes so deep. Watkins, oh my God. This is crazy. And then the person who stole the laptop and tried to get it to China was another woman, Riley or something. Riley Williams. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate that. Cray, right? So we've got them facing criminal trial. Let's take a look at these cards. Let's go in. And the first card, there's the Justice Department. You saw me shuffle. They're in trouble. Look at that. I wouldn't want to be in that. They're completely confused. You know what it is? I think some people, I was a fraud victim. I fell in love with somebody. It happened very slowly over time. The next thing I know, I'm sleeping on someone's floor, giving them half my money. When you want to love somebody, and if you're starved for love and you want to be important and you want to get someone's attention, maybe you didn't have the best father in the world, you can be vulnerable to these sorts of things. And unfortunately, that's what happened here. They got pulled into like a cult. They're now facing criminal trial, daddy issues, mommy issues, the courts. They're all. By the way, when you go into this energy, it's a feeling like the courts have their hands full. It's a feeling like the court, here comes another one. Here comes another wackadoodle screaming about QAnon. It's like the courts cannot get through all of these cases. What's crossing the courts? Secrets. 10 of Pentacles, secrets, right? Family secrets, inheritance. It's what we've inherited. But remember the dark side of the 10 of Pentacles? Dirty little family secrets. Take a look at the Ten of Pentacles as it's expressed in the Rider-Waite. Well, it's just an inheritance card. She's hiding a child behind her veil. They're chatting friendly. Meanwhile, she's got this thing hiding in the back. The elder man is hiding behind a post and watching. What are they up to? Everybody's checking on everybody else. The dirty family little secrets. So that card has, like all cards, it has a negative aspect. What do I think is the negative aspect? What do I think is the dirty secret? I think the dirty secret of why we can't arrest these people, whether it's Roger Stone or any of the other people, Giuliani, etc. The ugly secret is that they are important people in the Republican Party. They've done a lot of dirt for the Republican Party. And so they have made friends in high places that now feel a sense of obligation to protect them, including when you have a Republican Justice Department. You see the problem? They are using their dirty tricks to put your friends in office, and the friends that are giving you perks, the friends that are allowing you to push your agenda. That's what's complicated about this. Okay, let's go in again. Ace of Cups is in the 4th house. So some of these people are going to be offered a deal. They're going to be offered a deal to negotiate. They're going to start with the lowest and work their way up. And what they sit in, there it is, the facts. You know, this is interesting. If you look at Kabbalah, if you look at Hebrew, Imuna and Bina, faith and understanding, Bina. It's the moon energy. It's the hidden secrets. It's the mystery schools. The mystery that's not being made public to the general public is this idea of just how deep these tendrils go into the political community, basically. The past placement, betrayal. Right? I really do think that, bye, Greeter TK. I really do think that many of these people feel betrayed by Donald Trump. I can't imagine that they wouldn't feel betrayed at this point. He's not in jail and they are, right? Same with Michael Cohen. He went to jail. If individual one did not. You know, the addict always is able to get away with it. You know, the codependent who's manipulating the situation, the person that goes out and the codependent that holds up the other person, right? That's this dynamic. The partnership. Look at this. They're entering into a new partnership. 2 of Wands moving in. This case will it'll start to come out very quickly. There are receipts. There is some money connection. Hopes and fears. Celebration. I think that justice is definitely going to prevail. I like this card, 3 of Cups, the dancing in the streets card. I would say that probably by April, a lot of information is coming out. I think that Garland, Merrick Garland is going to be a great AG. And I think that we're going to continue to have problems with Donald Trump mucking things up, though. You can see here the hope and the fear is Trump's card, and then the final outcome is he is the master of manipulation. He is the master of avoiding jail. Okay. Next question had to do with Michael Flynn. People are curious about the fact that it has finally happened, my fellow sensitive people. It has finally happened. Michael Flynn. Under investigation by the Pentagon. Yes, my fellow sensitive people. Michael Flynn's an interesting character for me as a remote viewer. The first time I was asked to go down and take a look at that, the impression I got was that thank you, Hope Morissette. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the donation. So the impression I get on Flynn is that he is somebody who was disgruntled. I got the impression he may have had a drinking problem. I got the impression that he became increasingly unstable, that his behavior was unstable due to that. I also got the impression that when he was working in the Obama administration, even before that, possibly, they had intercepted some communication or something between what it appeared to me as a remote viewer. It looked like they had intercepted some kind of activity and possibly some type of communication between Michael Flynn and somebody of interest. There were serious things that came up that led to him being fired when Obama was in office. Now the situation has changed. He gets hired by Trump. Obama says, don't do this, because Obama had him under investigation. And now that investigation that we had access to in the remotes from the past appears to be coming to the surface now. That investigation appears to have started under the Obama administration, halted temporarily by the Justice Department. So I think we need to go in and take a look at Michael Flynn. Sound good? Okay. Michael Flynn's future. Michael Flynn, they've got evidence on him. You can see the base of the matter, hidden information. Something happened where information about this individual was hidden or suppressed or buried and put into almost like it was dormant under the previous administration, but it was always there. Remember look at his karma card, 3 of Swords. Possible angina, also some health problems with the heart, heartbreak. It reminds me of what I had seen when I remember when I did a remote viewing on Jeffrey Epstein. As Jeffrey Epstein, I heard myself say, this hell will never end. They're always going to hunt me. They're always going to be after me. This hell will never end. It's a hell. That's exactly how I feel when I go into the energy of Flynn. I feel like this hell will never end. Let's take a look. First card. At his job, work, the mastery. I can't imagine that he would have been so brazen that he would have helped in the January 6th. Well, maybe, who knows? Look at that, he's facing jail. He was a master. I believe he did arrange as a general. I think they used his skills in order to create some of this stuff. Look at that, facing jail. What is above him? strife, and also things are starting to develop quick. It's almost like as soon as Trump was gone, stuff that was buried and hidden breaks open again. The hidden truth. Oh my God, this is going to lead to heartbreak. What he sits in, hanging something up, his past placement, a judgment. The future of Michael Flynn, 9 of Pentacles, comfortable in the garden. Where he's at, his wish is granted regarding an offer. His hope and his fear, he's confused. This is lunatic again. Possible drinking issues. Final outcome, he's given another offer. They're going to show Flynn mercy. He'll be given an opportunity based on these cards to privately cooperate. They want him to be an informant. They'll leave him alone if he's an informant. That's what it looks like. Because he's heartbroken, but then look at this. He's comfortable in his garden. He gets his wish. Somebody's offering him a healing ordeal. That's the 8th house. His hope and his fear, he's confused. Alcohol, drugs, addiction, heart issues, possibly. Look at this Ace of Cups. If he privately cooperates and nobody in the public ever knows, and he's already gotten the pardon, yeah, Ace of Swords moving in. They have everything already. Look at this again. Secrets. No. The hell will never end. Even if he cooperates, the best he can hope for is devastation. He betrayed his country. I mean, bottom line, this is a feeling of treason. He was not trying to help America. He was trying to help himself economically and every other way. So I don't know. That's how it looks. Hi, Daphne. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Bizarre, bizarre, bizarre. So, how y'all feel about that? Not a happy boy. Yes, it's the time of Aries. Oh, next week is my birthday party. I hope y'all can come. Birthday brunch, just like last year. I might make cupcakes or scones. The Wheel of Justice, yes. Okay, people have now asked me if I could look at Merrick Garland and if he has found out any interesting information in the Justice Department. Absolutely. I went back in and looked at Christopher Wray and my old notes at Christopher Wray and whether or not he would stay on. And the feeling I got as Biden and as somebody in that energy was that good people can sometimes be compromised. And there's an aspect to Christopher Wray where I just don't know if he's going to be able to complete his term, not because he did anything blatantly wrong. Certain things happened in order for him to protect his job. It's just, there's this feeling that his time, he may not complete his term. I can throw on it, but that's how I feel about it. Looking at his cards. Okay, let's look at, and let's just see. Merrick, Garland's cards. Well, he signed the contract. There he is, beginning the new construction. It's interesting. When I went into the Justice Department, I tried to put myself in first day entering the Justice Department. Excuse me. When I went into the Justice Department as Merrick Garland, everything looked so normal. Everything looked completely normal. That was what was interesting about the Justice Department as Merrick Garland. I went in to everything. There was nothing I could see that was out of ordinary. Everybody was at their desk. Everybody was working. Everybody was happy to see me there. Everything looked too normal. Everything looked like there's nothing to see here. And that, like it was just a regularly running organization, like the Justice Department. Okay. Now there's a target I was able to locate who was female. I don't want to give too much of a description because in case I don't want this person to come out, but there's a whistleblower in the Justice Department who's female. And when I was able to get that target, I was able to get more information. And what it looks like happened is that cases work their way up the Justice Department. They find their way into the Justice Department, and then a small group of individuals meet privately. This is how it looked from this person's perspective. And then that small group of people decides, and that group of people is the problem from this whistleblower's perspective, because these decisions were being made in private. They were decisions that were being made and only a few people were involved, one of them being William Barr and maybe a handful of other people. It's never discussed publicly, so you never really know what's going down. And that's what's making this uncomfortable. So whistleblowers and people that were working at the Justice Department were observing this. They knew these meetings were going on, and they knew decisions were being made that didn't look kosher. But because they weren't in the meetings, and because of the way the Justice Department is structured, they couldn't find out anything. That's what Merrick Garland has walked in on. So who do you think is going to tell him that this is going on? Who's he going to get the information from? He's going to get it from the whistleblowers, the secretaries, the private assistants, right? That's how it feels as Merrick Garland. So he starts the job. What do you think karmically would be the first thing that someone like Merrick Garland would do inside the Justice Department? The Buddha card, right? The frugality card, hold your. But what's the second meaning of the Four of Pentacles? Why do we call it the Buddha's card? If you want to get to the kingdom of heaven, you must first examine the nature of your own existence. If you want to break the cycle of birth and death, you must first, understand the nature of your, right? The Buddha. So he holds up the coin like a mirror and says, look at yourself, look at yourself, look at yourself. And the kingdom of heaven is in the background. So the fool is trying to get to the Shangri-La, the beautiful place in the background, but he can't get there because there's this guy standing there holding up a coin saying, take a look, take a look, take a look, take a look at yourself. Take a look at your situation. This is a card of pulling back, restricting. This is the card you get when you're on a tight budget and you're looking at every single penny and writing it down. It's that kind of restricted energy. Look, 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 look at every coin, look at every money, look at every single sign. It's extremely focused laser energy. When you start to get that kind of frugal pulling back, not showing people your cards, looking at every single thing, that's where he's at. First house for Garland, the karma. There is a feeling when you go into Merrick Garland's energy that he was kind of created for this kind of work. Like he said in his confirmation hearing, I have a unique set of skills that would be helpful in this job. And that's precisely right. He has worked his whole life to be able to do this type of work. And what crosses him, the sun. So yeah, a lot of information coming out under Garland. What is above him? A new partnership, new beginning with the Justice Department. He's a good leader. What the Justice Department sits in, old relationships, old alliance. He's going to have to weed people out. And there are people in the Justice Department that were very happy and very chained to how things were going. They're happy with what they constructed and they're chaining it down. This is like a codependency. Past placement of the Justice, doing favors for friends. Showing mercy, maybe to people you shouldn't be showing mercy to. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. The future of the Justice Department under Merrick, Garland, Lady Justice, right? The sword of justice. The arc, right? The arc is bending towards justice, right? Where we're at right now, the truth is coming out. No surprise there. The 8th house, Hanged Man. This is something I've been seeing also a lot of, that a lot of people that supported the former administration are gone and they're sick of Trump. He doesn't have the ring anymore. It feels like he used to have the ring. He used to have the precious, but he doesn't have the precious anymore. He's no longer playing with the bouncing ball, the power, the ring. Wow, I've got the power. It's now in the hands of somebody else. He doesn't even have Twitter. So he's looking a lot like a loser. He's not the it kid anymore. If you want to be close to power, he's not it, right? So there is this feeling like the people that were propping up the former Justice Department and the former administration, including Barr, they've gone. Things changed, right? The hope and the fear from Merrick Garland. He has a lot of work and he wants to do it quickly. You know, the final outcome for Merrick Garland, he sits confident in his garden. I think he'll be a great AG and I think he'll be there for a while. I'll do the clarification now. He gets his wish. His wish is justice, the truth prevailing. He won't get any cooperation from the former administration. Look at that. Bill Barr is not going to be helpful. Bill Barr is not going to be forthcoming about what he did when he was in the administration. His biggest fear is that things were buried. Things were buried or hidden. That's his concern. You know, what did he walk into? What he doesn't know. The final outcome for that, smoother waters. Yeah, he'll do well. He'll do well, and I think that we'll see a lot of prosecutions, and I think we'll see a lot of cases opened up. All right, so we've been going for a little bit over an hour. If you haven't had a chance to do so yet, be sure and share, like, subscribe, and click the bell notification so that you can be notified about all future videos. We're going to take a couple minutes here and let people use the restroom. Then we'll go ahead and we'll do a couple after-hour blitzes. But let's hang. How's everybody holding up? Is everybody liking the reading so far? I just heard somebody say Roger Stone. Yes, we're going to do Roger Stone. We'll do Roger Stone and we'll do Giuliani. But to be honest with you, I think Giuliani's mental decline is about 2 minutes. Somebody just asked how long for the restroom. You have 2 minutes. That is, I mean, like, how brazen could Roger Stone be that he just let himself be photographed in front of the Oath Keepers? I mean, just Just crazy. What's everybody having for breakfast? Brunch. You want to see what I'm having? I wish it could be something more interesting, but this is Dr. Whimsy's infamous protein shake. Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that. Bob Mueller is back. He's been reincarnated with a new group of prosecutors. If anybody needs the recipe for my infamous protein shake, let me know. I think it's the perfect food for the human body. Oh, thank you very much for that donation, Marie Hansen. Texas, yes. Every time I go into the energy on Texas, I always feel like, sorry, Texas. I just feel like they've got nothing but bad news, bad news, bad news. Okay, so what is this about Matthew McConaughey? I find him so annoying. I just like... So my infamous protein shake, I use, here's the company I use, and okay, this is the best smoothie on the market. There's nothing better that I have found that's a protein mix that's better than Oracle protein and greens. And the reason why is because it's 24 servings of fruits and vegetables, and it's got the power adaptogenic mushrooms, adaptogenic herbs, etc. And so you get 24 servings of fruits and vegetables, etc., organic in your diet every day. And then I put some chia in there. I put half a banana in there. I put some frozen berries in there and some oat milk. And that's my breakfast. So it's a complete protein. It's 20 grams, more than 20 grams of protein. The chia gives me the omega-3s, or you can put in flax. I like chia more. And about 10 grams of fiber as well. So it's really the perfect food for the human body. All right. So people who needed to use the restroom have done so. We've done our mini break, which we always do. Let's go ahead and we'll start the after hours show. Ooh, mushroom hunting. Sounds like fun. Okay, so let's see what we got here in our notes. The next question. People wanted to know about Roger Stone and the Oath Keepers. Roger Stone, protected because he's done favors for important people. All right, let's take a look. The future of Roger Stone, what's going to happen with the investigation? Is he going to continue to be protected because of the favors he's done for the Republicans? Let's take a look. Oh, boy, too much drama. What is going to be with Roger Stone? How's it all going to end? Okay, heartbreak, chained to the devil. This is Roger Stone. Not a happy boy, not a happy boy. Let's go in. We know that he was naughty. We know that he did some stuff he shouldn't have done. He seems, he's an interesting psychological profile, Roger Stone, in the sense that what is he doing? I don't understand why he's with these people. I just don't. Yeah. Okay. His first house, Two of Swords. This is somebody who's really good at not talking, or he gets protected a lot, and he's also very good at avoiding questions. He's somebody who he protects his friends. He's loyal to a fault. Yeah, he's under investigation. You can see here, fear of jail is coming in for him. Some woman, I think this might be Letitia James. I think there's something going on with him in New York and possibly elsewhere. But this is not good for him. He's facing a possible jail issue. He's back at work. From his perspective, he's got a lot of clients. This is his job. His job is to make the other person look terrible, like what happened to Meghan Markle. The press will take care of it. The Queen doesn't have to do this. The Queen doesn't have to say anything bad about anybody. It's the same here. The Republicans don't have to say anything bad. It's his job to confuse people so much that they think the enemy of Trump is, a baby eating God knows what. I mean, the rumors about the Democrats, right? Things are happening for him very quickly. You can see the Chariot card here. There's something about his money source. There's something about a possible, his weakness has to do with, they're watching his money. He's getting money from some source that is questionable. Temperance coming in, which is Friday card. It's also about negotiating. A decision is being made regarding investigations or access into money. They found some money. They found some money or payments. That seems to be where they're at, because there's something about this strong woman and then him refusing to answer, being defensive, something about the 8th house where there's movement in attempting to speak with him about some kind of legal or judgment about his work. And then it had to do with money exchange and something about payments. That's the best way I would look at this. So I think they're going to get him with money. They're going to follow the money, which is exact. It goes back to, even though Bob Mueller wasn't allowed to actually follow the money, he did follow the money, then took all those cases and evidence and handed it to the authorities. So that's basically what happens here with Roger Stone. If they were paying Oath Keepers, if there was an exchange of money, that's how they're going to find him with the money. That's how it looks. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, so there have been a lot of questions about Jessica Watkins. I believe I have the name right today. And people want to know, was she the person who planted the bombs? There was a lot of discussion about a remote viewing I did a while back where the Oath Keepers, the people that invaded the Capitol, were extremely angry and upset. And they said that the second squad, there was another squad that was supposed to come in and do the final mop up, and that like detonate the bombs, etc. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. It didn't go down. So we're going to take a look and see if we can find out any information about Jessica Watkins, who's currently in jail, and just how bad this is. I think, correct me if I'm mistaken, but bomb making material was found in her home. Is that correct? Can somebody fact check that for me? Yeah, I do have Andrew Cuomo listed as one of the questions, but let me get to Jessica Watkins first and the other questions. Okay. They found bomb-making materials at her home. Yeah, I think it was her. But let's take a look. I mean, I don't want to read the cards until I've read the cards. What's going on with Jessica? A lot of people with some serious issues. It feels this way. It's like you go into this energy. Thank you, Marie. The second group didn't get paid. I don't know, but the first thing I feel when I go into this energy is you have to understand these. When I go as an empath, when I go into these people's energy, when I go into Trump supporters, the people that were part of the riots, etc., she's saying in this remote, when I align myself with this energy, she's saying they're traitors. They betrayed the cause. So this is somebody that believes that they're on the side of right. And if people back down and didn't show up and didn't stick to the plan, then it's because they betrayed their oath. They betrayed their sense of betrayal. That's the best way to interpret it. Let's take a look at the cards. Foolish. She went for it, right? The fool takes a leap of faith. But look at this. She has placed herself in a situation now that she can't get out of. She did this to herself. One aspect of the Eight of Swords is that, you know, you've done this to yourself to some extent. The Fool is somebody who just goes for it. It's kind of like an Aries card. You know, it's zero. You know, it's the first card, just like the Aries is the first. They just go for it. You know, act and think afterwards. What did I say when we went into the remote? When I tapped into this energy, you betrayed us. You betrayed us. You betrayed the oath. You betrayed the cause. You're a traitor. You're a traitor, right? You betrayed me. I'm in jail because you betrayed us. Ten of Swords has an aspect to it of being betrayed, of being stabbed in the back. So this is somebody at this time, when you go into this energy, who truly feels that this was a righteous fight, right? And that if the mission was sabotaged, the other person betrayed them. But that is the feeling. The crossing card for her, you know, I think she has good lawyers. I think her lawyers are trying to help her. I think they're trying to get as much facts and information as possible. Six of Swords also would indicate possible movement. So if she was at jail, she might be moved to another facility. I know that she's concerned about her safety. I think that they may have to confine her. They certainly have to be careful in terms of her safety for a number of reasons, but she's possibly going to be moved to a safer or a different location with the Six of Swords coming in. More information is coming out. I can tell you though, because of this person's military training and because of their strong feeling that you betrayed your oath, this was a cause, this is the cause, you betrayed the cause. You're not a comrade. It's that kind of feeling. It's going to be this is going to be a tough egg to crack. That's how it feels. What she sits in, temperance, negotiation. This is a tough person. Yeah. Four of Cups, right? Doesn't want to cooperate. The ethos of the nation, no deal. So it's kind of like she talks with her lawyer talks with prosecution, etc. This person doesn't want to cooperate. She doesn't want to give up any information. They're trying to be to be honest with you, they want to see how far this thing goes, which is why they need her to cooperate. And like I'm saying, it's going to be really difficult to get her to cooperate because of this feeling when you go into this. You have betrayed me. You have betrayed me. You have betrayed your oath, etc. She keeps saying that. What is around? They're going to probably have to do this investigation without her help. I don't see her cooperating at this point. The hope and the fear for her, spies, right? Why would Wakens be concerned about spies? Why would the spy card come in her ninth house? The spy card's coming into her ninth house because that's an informant, right? Spies in our midst, FBI in our midst, informants in our midst. This person feels that someone betrayed them. I'm telling you, the spy card as her concern, informants, her final outcome. Victory within 6 months, but let's do a clarification what that means. They're going to offer her a sweet deal. Look at that, Ace of Pentacles over Two of Cups. This investigation is happening very fast. Look at that, Eight of Wands over a Chariot. Boom, boom, boom. The hope and the fear, again. They had spies and they've got a ton of information. That Ace of Wands, power, entrepreneurship. It's going to be like a power card, new beginning. So, yeah. They're going to have evidence against her. Probably it's going to go to trial and it will not bode well for her because the outcome is the Three of Swords. So it's victory for us, the state, the government, not victory for her. I question whether or not she'll take a deal, to be honest with you. This is someone who is such a true believer, she may not take a deal. Final outcome is Three of Swords, which again has an infidelity aspect to it. Three of Cups can be betrayal or again, stabbed in the betrayal. The best way for me to interpret this card is that this is the true believer who will not take a deal, refuses to cooperate, refuses to ask questions. All she'll do is give you her rank and serial number. She that the nation, that her oath keepers betrayed her, that there were spies and informants in her midst, and that it led to her downfall. Okay, you want to talk about that one? Dang. I was watching Lena Rodriguez this morning while I was having my morning coffee. She always makes me smile. I'd rather watch her than the news because the news can be so depressing. But I was watching her, and at one point she said, "Whimsy, I have so much sympathy. I don't want to be in these people's energy, this January 6th energy." You know, as long as you keep yourself emotionally the observer and you're watching your stomach getting sick and you're just documenting, my stomach feels like it wants to puke. As long as you maintain that separation, then you'll be a fine remote viewer. Crazy. We love Arlena. Okay. Questions about that Blitz and the remote? Okay, let's take a look at Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo is a fun remote. I got to tell you, Andrew Cuomo, all he wanted to do last time I did a remote with him is talk about women. Hey, I don't go for kids. I like adults. You know, I think that he anticipated that that was going to become the main story. And it looks like, what, 12 women now? What a mess. But this whole young women thing, that's not his flavor, actually. At least 40. She's got to at least be 40 to get his attention. He likes women, people he can talk to. All right. He is a ladies' man. He thinks he's God's gift to women. All right, let's look. What's going to happen with Andrew Cuomo? I'm really disappointed with the Democrats, to be honest with you, because Kristen Sinema, is that it? And Chuck Schumer calling for his resignation. That's so inappropriate, I think. Without an investigation, without getting the facts, just we heard a rumor, you got to go. I think that's a really bad precedent for the Democratic Party. I think that like Al Franken, if you told some jokes when you were a civilian comedian and you were a little bit off color, it can come haunt you 12 years later when you're a sitting senator. So there you go. Yes, that's what he said. He said he has dated, divorced, married, and everything, single, divorced, married, and everything in the middle. That he liked women. He's not into kids. No, thank you. No can do, he said. Preferably divorced would be great for him. Divorced, mature, discreet, an adult. That's Cuomo's ideal relationship. Funny, mature, educated, sophisticated. Takes good care of herself. Independent. That's his type. Let's see. Andrew Cuomo's future. Oh, was it Gillibrand? Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate based on rumors if you haven't done an internal investigation to do that to a colleague. Nobody's going to want to run for the Democratic Party. Where's the protection? At least do an investigation and get the facts. It's obvious. I'm not saying it's true or not true, but it's just not appropriate to just, it's not the way you run a party. Oh, right, Christian Gillibrand, excuse me, not Sinema. I think he's shocked at how fast he lost friends. I think he's shocked at how quickly people abandoned him. Some good news coming for him next month. Some facts are going to come out that are actually going to help him. You can see a victory card moving in, 6 of Wands, and an April card. Something is going to come out. See, the sad thing is that we should not have abandoned him so fast before we got our facts straight. We should have remained neutral until we should have investigated. Let's look at his cards. Holding pattern, right? What crosses him? Knight of Cups. What is above him? Thinking about throwing in the towel, walking away. His past placement. See, he was trying to be judicious. He was trying to, you know what? He's really, he's getting to a point where now he's thinking he may have to resign. You can see here his fourth house, throwing in the towel, walking away, and then death. It may be that it's getting to a point where he can't clean up the mess with these cards. Where he's at right now, investigations, right? Justice, the courts, what is around him, that could be the feds or some type of an investigation. The hidden king, hidden secrets, finances possibly, hopes and fears, justice. The final outcome for this guy, what is going to be with Andrew Cuomo? And I hope he doesn't have to resign, but you can see the, dang. God, they just dump him like look at this. He's completely confused. 1 minute you're the star of the show. The next minute, nobody knows you. He's very confused about how this seemed to have come out of nowhere, but he's trying to find out where it came from. And I think there's going to be more information about what was done by April of this year. You can see that. He's probably going to do some type of internal investigation to see how this happened to him. And probably is already doing that. But boy, we Democrats are fair weather friends, aren't we? He's confused. Look at that. I don't think it's a done deal. He could stay or leave. Right now, it's dominating a lot of his work. It's slowing down the work he needs to do as the governor of New York, this craziness. So I think we'll just have to wait and see. But some of what's going on, some of why this happened is going to be revealed by April. Do I think that Roger Stone? Yeah, I think he was hit. I think he was hit by some kind of an attack. This is the kind of thing that happens that we've talked about where you muck up the waters. If you've got the press, if you've got an engine of fake news that's protecting you, you can just go after your enemies. And this is what the Republicans are afraid of. Cuomo went after him. And so his people's job, the fake news, is to muck it up. And so that's what they did. They went in and they mucked it up, just like they're mucking things up in Britain. This is their job. Their job, you just sit pretty and we'll take care of the rest. We're going to make you shine. And that's what Roger Stone does. He does the dirty, awful, run your enemies into the ground, and you can just go about your merry way, having your tea and, or playing golf or whatever. They'll take care of the rest. And that's exactly what this looks like. So, yeah, he got hit. The good news for him is that if he does decide to stick it out, by April, this could smooth over and the energy could be moving in a different direction if he does decide to stick it out. And he should. He should stay and fight. Yeah, that's what I see. Okay. So we've been working for almost 2 hours. I'm going to do a couple quick 3-card blitzes for the next 10 minutes, and then we'll just call it a day. Sound good, everybody? I don't know anything about who these girls were, or they're not. One of the women said that it wasn't sexual. She just didn't like him touching her face when he was making an Italian point. I know somebody that, well, I know people that have had real sexual harassment cases, like nightmare cases, stalking, etc. This is just, it looks like a different type of a problem. But, sexual harassment, so it has to be investigated, etc. But to make a decision before an investigation, I just think that's not appropriate. All right, so now we're going to go as fast as we can. People wanted me to take a look quickly. Oh, he kissed her on the cheek? Yeah. But your boss should not be acting like that. That's true. There's a cultural aspect. There's a generational aspect. Yeah. So, okay. So now we're doing Giuliani. I apologize. I can never remember how he spells his name. What is going on here? Rudy Giuliani's future. We'll just do a 3-card Monty. He was definitely fired by Trump. That is for sure. I don't think he's even going to get paid by Trump. There's something coming out about Giuliani, about some information that the courts wanted to have access to. I think there's going to be legal action against Giuliani and his firm, and I think that there's going to be a subpoena, and I also think that they're going to get a search warrant. The reason I say that is because Queen of Swords, again, is Lady Justice. This can be the military or police. Something about in April. And I think that the investigation had been going on a while with Giuliani, Igor, and Lev, and all of that nonsense. It looks like this investigation with him has gone on for so long that it's already been going on for months and months. And it looks like people like Furman, Lev, and Furman, and these people have already, it looks like some people have been cooperating with the investigation, because you have a past placement of 6 of Wands over the Sun, which leads me to suspect that they already have information on Giuliani, that they've had information on him. They've had information about questionable dealings. And I would not be surprised if some kind of legal action or search warrant was issued late March, early April at this point. That's what I'm going to go ahead and say. April. All right. What do y'all think? Are we done? Did we get to everything? Looks like we got to everything. Mitch McConnell and Elaine Chao. I've been getting some feedback on that. So Mitch and Elaine Chao. Let's do it. Oh, I don't know what. Look, every time I go into Elaine Chao's energy, something really bad happened in the transportation. It feels. The other thing that I was thinking about when I did a meditation today is Trump really thought, they all thought that they had no doubt that they were going to win. They had no doubts that they were going to win. So it's kind of like when Hillary Clinton had no doubt that she was convinced she was going to win. And then when she didn't, she was shocked. That's the energy you get with Donald Trump. Like, everybody thought that the Trump administration, because they were surrounded by yes people who loved them. So if you only are hanging around with people that love you and not people that are criticizing you, you just think everyone thinks the way you do. So of course you're going to win another 4 years, right? Because you're surrounded by a bunch of people that love and adore you. You're not outside Versailles, right? He ran the place like it was Versailles. Drugs, free drugs, sexual harassment, right? Jackson was an alcoholic, a drug addict. They're now saying the guy and he opened the pharmacy at the White House for anybody. You need Ambien? Here you go. If you remember the previous remotes we had done from a couple years ago, we saw that there was evidence that Trump had a drug problem, and that the reason why he was being so nice to the doctor of the White House was because the doctor of the White House, he was talking him up, opened the drugs up and said, here, take what you need, right? So here's the thing, when you go into on Mitch McConnell and Elaine Chao, it's like, oh my God, the queen, the high priestess comes in, and that's like, boom, all this information starts to come out. And oh, what a lot of information it is. And I think the reason why it's so brazen is because they really thought that they were going to be there another 4 years, and that the Democrats weren't going to be able to pull it off. And so they got cocky and confident, right? People got cocky and confident with the racism. People got cocky and confident that this was cool. This was hip again. This type of politics. And then it collapsed rather quickly. And then people got stuck doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And now they're the ones that are facing criminal charges, FBI investigations. The thing I always saw with Elaine Chao was that whatever she was doing had sparked a whistleblower inside the transportation, but also that the internal investigation had sparked some type of FBI probe. That's the best way to describe it. Because if you look at this high priestess of the truth, a hidden truth coming out, there was a hidden truth that was coming out, and it had something to do with whatever it was that Chao was doing. Yeah, there's the evidence. This card always scares me when I'm doing like FBI work. Like anytime I'm throwing anything that has to do with the feds, anytime I get a card like this, Three of Pentacles, where they're like, okay, well, let's take a look at what the documents actually show. It's that blueprint. It's the person opening up the documents and said, actually, found your signature on these documents, Ivanka, and we'd like to have a conversation with you. It's that kind of awful. So what we have here with Elaine Chao and Mitch McConnell is information coming out, quite a bit of information. All will be revealed regarding a blueprint. They found a blueprint, right? They found that she was constructing something. What was she constructing? Oh. Transportation, right? Getting in the boat, smooth water. Yeah, the feds found something, and it had, look, if she was exchanging science or knowledge or information with a foreign country under the guise that we're going to hire a foreign company to come in and help us with our infrastructure because the Chinese are cheaper than if we hire an American company. This is what happens sometimes with infrastructure in the United States. They hire the Chinese to come in and do it because it's cost effective. But if doing that, you also begin to exchange and the Chinese say, well, we need some of your science information, your engineering information, et cetera, et cetera. If you can kind of merge that information with ours, then what happens is it becomes a trade issue. So you have a foreign government that's got this contract and is now getting access to information, et cetera, simply through an exchange that happened because you gave them the contract. So that's kind of what this looks like. And I think that some contracts are going to get shut down. In terms of Mitch McConnell, let me throw separate on Mitch McConnell because that was more about that she's in trouble. That was bad. Mitch McConnell. Crazy stuff. I can't believe we're living in times like this where people act like this. But I think the lesson here is what can happen to all of us if we live in a cave and we're only surrounded by people who agree with us. It's very dangerous. We need to have people around us that can challenge us. Oh, God. What everybody that was part of the previous administration not only has these horrible cards, but they just look like they're a mess psychologically. They look so confused. They look so like they're just out of it. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely stressed. He's definitely not doing well. I think he's having. Oh, there's a temperance or a sobriety card. Yeah, look at this. What's so weird about these cards and what's weird about the Republican Party is that it's almost like they don't even know what they believe. It's so strange. Like, what do you believe in? It's so weird. I see somebody stressed out and confused. Oh. Elaine Chao. Yeah, confused. It was a money issue. It was the money. They were making what it appears happened was that she appears to have been using her position in order to to advance herself and her family personally, financially. And so it's not just about the emollients clause. It's actually about, it's starting to look a little bit like theft. You know, if you're using resources or you're misappropriating funds that were supposed to go to your department and the Congress released the funds and they were earmarked towards something that personally benefits you, at that point, excuse me, at that point, it's no longer the emollients. It's no longer just being self-serving. At that point, it's theft. That's what it's starting to look like. At that point, this is why the FBI and Congress may do hearings in the future to figure out what happened to money. They gave money, approved money to go to one area, and it went to something else. And that seems to be what happened to Elaine Chao. That's why she's in trouble. There's confusion about what they did with the money. All right. Well. We have done a solid 2 hours. I know I had a good time. Did you have a good time? I love you too, Mila. Yes, you and all your hair. God, I dusted like a storm, but I guess there's still hair on this. I was having a heck of allergic reactions today. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for sticking with me for the full 2 hours. I will be back. Thank you, Marie. I try to be honest with these. So tomorrow I'm doing a taped interview with Sheila of Celtic Tarot, and I can't tell you how excited I am because she practices HCRV too. So we're going to get down and dirty with some remote viewing tomorrow. Oh my God, am I excited. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. And thank you so much for the donations. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all soon. Be well. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.